Hello, everyone. I'm the Sports Wins 101, and today I'll be giving you my predictions for the NFL postseason. We are finally here to the postseason. There's your wild card matchups. We'll be going over not just all the wild card matchups, but all the matchups set to happen in the postseason, or at least the ones I think will happen. Well, let's get started with those wild card matchups. Where else would you start? Looking at the AFC, the 2-7 matchup is the Bills and the Steelers. Pittsburgh somehow gets in, but they're going to be without their best defensive player in TJ Watt, and they're playing arguably the hottest team in all football. Yeah, no chance Pittsburgh wins this one. I'm taking the Bills. Then we got my Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Miami Dolphins. This will take place on Saturday night in Kansas City. And look, I'm confident in a Chiefs win. First of all, they already proved they can beat the Dolphins. Secondly, it's going to be cold. Miami does not fare well in the cold. They've lost each of their last 10 games where the kickoff temperature was under 40 degrees. And it's going to be close to 0 in Kansas City on Saturday night. Plus, this is a Dolphins team that is just filled with injuries. So yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs. Texans and Browns, I'm taking Cleveland. These two met a couple weeks ago, and granted, the Texans did not have CJ Stroud. I think in order for the Texans to win this game, they're going to have to have a big game from Stroud, but against that Cleveland defense, I'm just not seeing it. So I'm taking the Browns. Over in the NFC, the Packers and the Cowboys. Jordan Love trying to do something that Aaron Rodgers was able to do on a regular basis. Break the hearts of many Cowboys fans. But I don't think he's going to do it. First of all, Dallas has been just an absolute juggernaut at Jerry World at home. But secondly, that Packer defense just doesn't seem to be good enough to be able to compete with a Cowboys. So yeah, I'm taking Dallas. Detroit and the Rams. Now look, these last two games in the NFC, I honestly believe they could go either way. Starting with this Lions and Rams game, of course, it is the first time that Matthew Stafford will be playing against the Lions since he got traded to the Rams. And Jared Goff will also be playing his former team. It's the first home game for the Lions in the history of Ford Field. So you know that crowd is going to be rocking. And I think that Ram passing attack will have a bit of an advantage. Look out for the likes of Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua to have big games. But in the end, I take the Lions. I just feel like their defensive line will be able to do wonders in stopping the run, forcing the Rams to be one-dimensional, and maybe just getting after Stafford a little too much, getting Stafford uncomfortable. And that leads me to think the Lions win that game. And then over in the 5-4 matchup, it's the Buccaneers and the Eagles. Philly just has not been that hot as of late. The Eagles have just struggled. Meanwhile, they're taking on a Tampa Bay team. Now, on paper, this is an Eagles team that should easily beat the Buccaneers. After all, they did it early on in the season. And I still think they are good enough to beat Tampa Bay. but with how much friction there is with the team, how much the Eagles have struggled, it would not surprise me if they fell here. Though it does seem to me like they saw similar struggles last year, towards the end of the year. And of course, they overcame those and made it to the Super Bowl. Looking now at the divisional round, in the AFC, you have Baltimore taking on Cleveland. And I think if I'm Baltimore, this is a matchup I would not want to have. To take on the Cleveland Browns. Who are the Cleveland Browns? They are a team from the AFC North. A division that Lamar Jackson struggles against more than any other division. But they're not just a team from the North. They're a team from the North that has already proven that they can win a game in Baltimore. And they're a team quarterbacked by the former quarterback of the Ravens, Joe Flacco. Flacco was a bit of a mentor to Lamar Jackson. And Lamar, he has struggled in the postseason. Ever since he became a starter back in 2018, the Ravens have only won one playoff game. This is a Ravens team that has made the playoffs most of that time. And I've always been one to point that out. Lamar's a great regular season quarterback, one of the best in the business, not so much in the postseason. And if the Ravens were to lose any game, it would be to an AFC North team. So with all that pointing to picking the Browns, something still makes me want to pick the Ravens here, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm picking the Ravens, and that something is a gut feeling that this is finally the year that Lamar Jackson takes care of those demons. He gets the monkey off his back that is his postseason performance. So I'll take Baltimore to win and go to the AFC Championship. Then we got the Bills and the Chiefs. If this is correct, this would be the first postseason game for Patrick Mahomes, a guy who's been in the playoffs every year since he became a starter. And you know what? I'm taking Kansas City. This is a Chiefs defense that has already proven that they can shut down, that they can slow down this Bills offense. And I feel like this is a Kansas City team that is more built to win a cold weather game than the Bills are. So yeah, I'm taking Kansas City. Over in the NFC, Cowboys and Lions in Dallas. We just saw this a couple of weeks ago, and it was a great game up until the conclusion. And from what I saw in that game, yes, Dallas might be able to get some good plays off. They might give CeeDee Lamb another huge game. But I'm picking the Lions here. I'm picking the Lions because they proved in that game that they can slow down the Cowboys' rushing attack. That they can slow down that Cowboy offense a bit. And that if they can clean up their turnovers, can easily beat the Cowboys. Plus, it does fit into the whole Cowboys are postseason jokers narrative. So, give me the Lions. 49ers, Eagles, yeah. I'm taking the 49ers here. Look, if Philly was going to win this game, it was going to be in the regular season, back when, as far as we know, Philly was at full strength. Philly was at full strength mentally. Philly was at full strength physically, but they have just fallen off since then. I just cannot see this Eagles team visiting the 49ers and winning, which is why I got San Francisco. Conference championships. Coincidentally, both are 1 versus 3 matchups. Looking in the AFC, the Ravens and the Chiefs. Look, for Kansas City, I feel like if they were to beat the Ravens in the AFC Championship, I feel like their offense would have to have like a perfect game, which is different from the first 2 games. I haven't beaten the Dolphins, beaten the Bills, but in those 2 games, all they really need is no big mistakes. Like Kadarius Toney dropping a pass that would put him in field goal range. MVS dropping a pass that could have been a potential touchdown. And offsides calling Kadarius Toney at the worst possible time. Drops that turn into turnovers. Those kinds of things that have plagued the Chiefs all year. For this, they can't have any of that, no matter if it's at the crucial point of the game or not. Baltimore's just too good to be able to have that. Which is why, I'm taking the Ravens to win this game. I just don't think Kansas City can quite have that perfect game that they'll need in order to go to Baltimore and beat the Ravens. So give me give me Baltimore to win this game and play in the Super Bowl. Then you have the 49ers and the Lions. Detroit might actually be a decent matchup for the 49ers. They have a defense that I think can defend Christian McCaffrey about as well as anybody the Niners have seen. But the 49ers are not just Christian McCaffrey. They have just too many weapons for the Lions to have to deal with. So I'm taking the 49ers to win this game. And now, here's our Super Bowl. The Ravens and the 49ers. Of course, a rematch from earlier on in the regular season. This game will take place in Vegas, so I'm sure there will be a lot of 49ers there. But who wins this game? I got the Ravens. I've got the Ravens. They were dominant in that one. The Niners will have to make sure that they're not so turnover prone in this one, but I do think they still turn the ball over a time or two, and the Ravens will be able to easily capitalize on those turnovers, and that will lead to not just Jim Harbaugh, but also John Harbaugh, both winning a championship, whether that be in the college ranks or in the NFL. The Harbaugh family will be one happy family this year as both brothers win themselves a championship. But there you go. There's my predictions for the NFL postseason. If you like this, please like and subscribe for more to come. I'll try to have something else up after the postseason. Something special I've been thinking about for a while. But until then, I've been the Sports Wiz 101, and I will see you all later.